Hi first grade artists! Today we're going to be making another artwork based off of the artist Vasily Kandinsky. You already know about Vasily Kandinsky. We learned about him when we made our abstract weavings. If you can remember back, we listened to the music Peter and the Wolf, and we painted and drew lines as we created our paintings. We are going to be looking at his artwork again today, and this time we're going to be making an artwork that looks something like this. Yours will be a little bit different depending on the shapes that you choose to trace. You're going to need a couple of different supplies, and I'm going to list them in the video for you. I cannot wait to see your beautiful abstract artwork. Be sure to post your pictures on your Artsonia gallery. At the very end of my video, I'm going to give you a QR code that you can really easily scan, and it'll take you right to the website to do it. All right, friends, get creating. I miss you, and I can't wait to see you. Bye.
You'll remember Vasily Kandinsky is an abstract artist, which means he uses lines, shape, and color to create his artwork. He is one of my absolute favorite artists because of his bright, bold colors and all the shapes that I can find in his artwork. We learned about him when we were making our paper weaving, and if you can recall, he listened to music every time that he created his artwork. We listened to Peter and the Wolf while we made our paper weavings. If you would like to turn on some music while you are making this artwork, please feel free. So let's get started on your abstract artwork. Here are the supplies that you're going to need. First, you need to find a white piece of paper. It can be any size or shape. You need to find some objects to trace around. I'm using circles, and I found 3 different circles to trace for mine. You can use any shapes you'd like, and they can be different shapes. You'll need to find some crayons. You'll also need either markers or watercolor paint. You have to choose one, paintbrush and some water, and then some object that has a straight edge, like a ruler or a popsicle stick. So let's get started. So the first thing I did was I grabbed my shapes that I found, and I'm going to begin laying them around my paper and tracing around the edge of them. You want a variety of colors and sizes. A variety means lots of different types. So I'm going to use lots of different colors to trace around the outside edge of my circles. I'm going to make sure I go all the way around, and then I'm going to start tracing all of my objects. They can be hanging off of the side of the paper, and they definitely need to be overlapping, which means that you're putting them on top of one another. I'm using circles, so I can either trace on the outside or the inside to add variety. So I'm just gonna keep on going around my paper, filling it up with as many shapes as I can fit. And once I'm done, I'll start the next part. Once I have a variety of circles all around my paper, I'm going to begin taking my crayons and coloring in some of those little parts where my circles overlapped. I don't want to color on top of the outline. I'm simply filling in between my 2 shapes. You don't have to do every single space. I'm choosing just to do the smaller areas to fill in. And I'm also choosing a different color than the rings around it. So watch as I move across my artwork, finding those areas to fill in with my crayons. Once you are finished filling in all the spots you wanted to with crayons, you're now going to move on to watercolor. If you do not have watercolor, this will still work with markers, but let me show you what you're going to do with watercolor first. Remember, your watercolors are sleeping, so you have to wake them up with water, and I'm going to begin filling in the larger areas with my watercolors. Notice how in some areas my color is lighter and it's darker in others. If you add more paint to your paintbrush, your color will be darker. If you have less paint, your color will be lighter. Now, if you're using markers, they're going to work the same way. All you have to do is grab a marker that you want, color in that area that you choose, and then add water on top and it will transform into paint. Check it out. Now, after you've filled in most of your areas with either marker or watercolor, you have a choice to make. Do you want to leave some white space, or do you want to make the entire artwork full of color? It is your choice. I think I'm going to leave a few areas of white just so that my colors really stand out and pop from the paper. The very last step is going to be taking your straight edge object. For me, I'm going to use a popsicle stick and I'm going to find a bold color. I'm going to choose black because I think it will really stand out against all my bright colors. And I'm just going to draw some vertical or diagonal or horizontal lines using that object across my paper, just like Wassily Kandinsky does. Think about how you could add extra lines to your lines you just created. You could add little dashes or dots, or you could even color in some of your shapes. It is your choice. I cannot wait to see what your Wassily Kandinsky abstract paintings turn out like.